paranormal fanatics. I hope you're doing well today. I'm doing fine myself. I can't complain too much. I mean, I can, but, you know. So, the title is Grandma Calling from Beyond or something similar to that. We'll get into the details of that here in a minute. I had a experience Sunday morning, late Saturday night, depends on how you view it, about 3:45 in the morning, Sunday morning. But with that being said, I wanted to mention about two other events that was through my life that was kind of brought up today. One I've talked to you guys about. Other one, I don't think I've ever mentioned it before. I could be wrong, but I don't believe I have. So we'll start off with the very first experience, then I'll tell you about the second one that I can remember that I know I've told you guys about, and then the one that happened Saturday evening into Sunday morning. Well, 3:45 in the morning, you might as well say Sunday morning. Hopefully you guys could hear me all right. So the first experience I had, I'll roll up the windows, cut down the noise a little bit. So the first experience I had was way back. My oldest kid is in his 30s. And so this happened when my oldest was probably about 3 or 4 years old, and his brothers were a couple of years younger. And so this is weekend night, friends of mine hanging out. Kids were with their mother staying the night at grandma's, I believe. And so it was just me and a couple of friends hanging out, watching a movie, playing Magic the Gathering, things like that, just hanging out. And so I think it was probably pushing around midnight. And next thing I know, we hear one of the toys in the kids' room going off. Like I said, there's no kids in the area at the time, nobody in the house. Everybody that was in the house is in the living room watching a movie. And so as the toy went off a few times, and we got kind of annoyed with it, like, what the heck. So we go in. I think my friend grabbed it, if I remember correctly. Found out the noise was a toy telephone. And so I was thinking to myself that the odds are the battery that was causing, energy spike. But sometimes when batteries are going dead in the toys or whatnot, batteries are dead or dying. And so we were so annoyed with this toy phone that was ringing and making noise. This was early 90s. And so we opened up the back. Come find out, there's no batteries in this toy. This was long before I ever thought about doing any paranormal that. When you're in the hills of Pennsylvania, you end up doing that. So yeah, there's no batteries in this toy. There should have been no way for it to be activating and whatnot. So it was a very strange situation. We took the toys out. I believe I yeeted that toy out the front door. I was like, nah, there's no way. That was before I was a paranormal investigator. I had no desire to keep that toy in my house with no batteries in its phone? You know, who the heck's trying to reach out to me, right? So that was the first experience. Second experience was still before I was a ghost hunter, but this is when my oldest was about 14, 15, and my youngest was about 6, 5, somewhere in that time frame. And sorry, I gotta concentrate on driving too. So this story I've told you guys before is we got the youngest ones in bed, and this was about 2008-ish. We got the youngest ones in bed. The older ones, being older teenagers, they were able to stay up, you know, a little bit later. The kids were in bed, the youngest were in bed for a good half hour or so. We're not hearing no noise coming from their room, so we were pretty confident they were asleep. Next thing you know, we got a phone call, and we're like on the house phone, landline for you older people, the non-cell phone type of phone for you younger folks. But anyways, so we got a call, and the mother of my kids answered, and it was like, what the heck? Our second to youngest boy was on the phone, laughing, giggling. You know, like I said, he was supposed to be in bed, but he's on the phone, laughing and giggling, and we're like, where the heck are you? And he laughed. He's like, I'm outside. You know, this is nighttime, supposed to be in bed, and this little bugger is outside. So, you know, we're doing our best to convince him to come in the house on his own. After a couple minutes of him laughing and giggling, and all he would say is he's outside, we sent the oldest boy out to find him, and he comes back in after a minute saying, Dad, I can't find him. So I get on the phone thinking father figure, you know, a little more authority. And the kid's saying the same thing to me. I'm outside. And I'm like, where? Because your brother can't find you. And he's like, I'm outside in the van. So I sent the kid out to the van. He wasn't there. So I come back in, and he's laughing in the bushes. Sent him back out. I went out this time, handed the phone to his mom, and went in outside a couple times, and this boy is just laughing up a storm on the phone. Now we're getting pretty pissed because playing this game of in and out. Plus, he should be in bed asleep, and so we I came back in the last time, and it dawned on me that the fact that the boy doesn't, I was like, well, wait a second. Handed the phone and said, I'll be right back, to his mother. And I went to the bedroom because it dawned on me that that the boy was too young to have a cell phone in our eyes, and we didn't buy him a cell phone. And at that time, kids really didn't have cell phones. So I was thinking to myself, how in the hell is this kid calling us from his bed? So I go in and I look, and there he is, asleep in his bed, nice and sound. And I was like, come back into the living room where the mom was and said, hey, he's in the bedroom asleep. The voice on the other end got real deep and got like this really deep laughter and hung up. I'm telling you, everybody that talked to that kid swore it was our son. We had no doubt that was our kid. So that was probably the strangest thing that we had. And stay tuned for part 2, right?